Hi, it's Creative Thought. Welcome to my channel and my first ever video. This is going to be a video tutorial on how I achieved the look on a dresser that I posted on the IOD group. Okay, so a family member gave me an old dingy dresser. I really loved it. It's just a great solid dresser. It was gorgeous. I sanded and cleaned it the whole thing down, and then I did a whole coat of that Venom color paint. I watered down the paint though to have it translucent so you could see the wood grain still a little bit through the paint. I'm going to be showing you how I achieved the look on this dresser using a different techniques and tricks and give you some tips. I unfortunately didn't record myself while I was painting the dresser initially, so I'm just going to show you the process I used to get there and the steps. Okay, so anytime I start a project, I never start on my piece, like my piece of furniture right off. I never just gob paint and hope I end up with something I love. It always starts somewhere else first. I always do concept art before I start painting a piece, whether it be in my art grimoire or on a scrap board that I find, or a piece of plywood, just on a sheet of paper. It always starts somewhere else. So in the case of this dresser, it started in my art grimoire. Okay, so here's my silly art grimoire. So in my art grimoire, I find myself often cleaning the excess paint off my paintbrushes, just so they're easier to clean, and then I have like a fun color pop or a work surface to start off with. So I can have all my ideas and all the things that I want to work on written down in my book, so whenever I'm bored, I'm just like, oh, I have nothing to do, I can just open my book and have a concept and have a project ready to go for me. Okay, so here's the dresser. So it started off as a little post on the IOD tribe. I just took a picture of the bottom corner here before I finished my backfill and then a wax top coat. I just posted that on there, and a few of you seemed interested in seeing the techniques that I used and just my process of how I get this on there. So I'm gonna share with you the process to how I came to this design and the different techniques that I used to achieve it. So I'm just gonna dance my camera around here just to show you all the little details, and I'll try to be sure to post a before picture as well. Yeah, so if I iron out all my issues with my concept art, then it means easy, smooth sailing when I do my big piece. I can iron out any problems that I would have or any roadblocks with the concept art. That way I'm not halfway through my dresser hating what I'm doing. I can feel confident knowing every step that I need to take to achieve something that's usually better than my concept art, because I can elevate my project and add on or edit it all in my concept art, and a lot of times it ends up taking me somewhere better than the original concept art. So obviously I don't have a bunny border going on my concept art, but I do on my dresser, and I think that's what you guys liked the most about my concept. I mean, about the little picture that I posted. So to get this look on the dresser,
I did all my prep work on this dingy old dresser. Obviously I cleaned it and I buffed it down, and then I cleaned it again. And then what I did is I did a watered down coat of that crazy bright, like Venom green. And after I did that, I did my bunny border. So I'm going to go ahead and show you on another piece how to make any IOD stamp a border.
Here's a before picture of the dresser, and as far as supplies goes, other than ink and paint and their accompanying tools, IOD stamps are the star of the show here. I've used the bunny stamp from the farm animal stamp set and a bunch of other stamps from various botanical sets. If you'd like to buy any of these stamps, head on over to ironorchiddesign.com. Go to find a retailer near you. While you're there, check out their other beautiful products. Okay, to turn any IOD stamp into a border, we are going to start by making a straight line. So you're going to want to also cut yourself out a mask. I got my stamp ready as well. Gonna spray some ink on that. Now I'm going with some crazy colors right now just because I think it'll make it my instructions here a little more clear. Let's hope anyway. So I'm gonna start on the edge of my project, and I'm gonna kind of like just hover it over my line, and I'm just going to use it. It's good to make a point to acknowledge where the line is cutting through your stamp. So in this case, it is coming out right above its tail and right above its whiskers. Just freehand make my stamp here. But I ain't gonna lie, that's what I usually do. I'm gonna excuse the lines on this piece of scrap wood here. Cover my bunny. I don't bother to ever cut out the whiskers and those super tiny thin little details when I cut out a mask. I don't really worry about it obscuring my other stamp so much. The next stamp, the second stamp, is kind of where you're setting like yourself up for like the spacing for the rest of your border. So right now we're gonna hover our bunny over, and I guess the only thing to really keep in mind is that you should try to hover it in the same way you did your other one with the pencil line that you've previously marked. So I'm going to put it just above my bunny's whiskers, and I'm guessing the tail here. So I pull it out that far here, but you can have it as close or as far overlapping as you like. But this is where we're setting the distance for the border between each little character. There we go. Now what's really cool about this is now that we have that second stamp done on our mask, we're setting ourselves up for the spacing perfectly every time. We just put our mask down, and in this case, the third stamp, you're gonna hover your, in this case, whiskers
just under the line like I've done before. But you can see on the mask we have that stamp put down there. You can see its tail and its little feet elbows. And that's why I did such like crazy contrasting colors with the stamp being blue and my ink being red, so you can really see that here. So I'm going to take and hover and put my stamp right on the same impression as what would have been my second stamp. So from this point on, our spacing is like made for us. Now if you excuse all these ugly lines on this board, it looks cute already. So this is masking a border from the face out. We can also do the opposite and mask from, well, the bunny's bum in this direction. And I'm gonna do that here for you guys just to show you. I don't think it'll look nice in the case of this stamp in particular, but literally you have so many options with stamps that there might be a case where a stamp, it might be nice to stamp in either direction. So put the mask here, the butt portion as a mask. In this case, we're hiding his face, so yeah, it's not going to look nearly as cute as using the mask from the opposite end. She's hiding. So you can see how you would just hover your stamp over the mask and line it up with the bunny's face there, and here you can see how you can hover it over the stamp on the mask there. Using those lines makes it so easy to make like a nice transition from stamp to stamp to make the border super even. And you can see there, like, that line is just anchors in this plane also, if that makes any sense at all. Okay, I'm gonna go and show you different ways I've used this bordering technique to make all sorts of beautiful images. That's part one of how to make this crazy dresser. I'm gonna follow up with a part two, and that's gonna cover a technique that I'm calling ghosting. And also I'm going to show you how I use the IOD botanical stamps to fill in the background, and how I backfill with a different color as well. And I'd also like to make another video on some more bordering techniques and things that I've created using borders. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing and liking. If you have any questions or comments, tips, please leave that in the comments section. I hope you got something out of this video. Thank you.